Everyone. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing? Get the chat going there. Hello, everybody on Instagram, YouTube, various Facebook pages, personal, business, group. I'm a little bit everywhere. Okay. So, my name is Tanisha Webb. I am the owner of Urban Chic Travelistas, which is a boutique travel business where we go on hosted trips, and then I also curate trips for people as well. So, private trips, groups, mostly, but also individual trips and things like that. So, I kind of do it all. I have like 10 years or more than 10 years actually, of event planning uh, experience as well, which is kind of how I got into the travel business, is with my event planning company. Uh, so that's a little bit about Urban Chic Travelistas. We have some hosted trips that I have curated that anyone is allowed to go on, men, women, and things, everybody but kids. So we're going to Ghana, Greece, and to Egypt. And so you can definitely check us out on urbanchictravelistas.com. You can actually see the website in my bio or in the description of this video. Just click on it and you'll get all the information that you need. Right now, I'm doing a special on $50 deposit until December 17th per person per trip. And so, if you want to hold your spot, this is a great time to do it. Your first payment is not due until January 31st. So, just to kind of let you know, get that out there. Okay, so tonight, and anybody that's been listening to me since December 1st, I am actually doing a 30-day live challenge with other travel agents. So, um, and we're trying to just give out travel information in the month of December up until December 30th. And so hopefully this information that I am sharing in previous and tonight and then in the future will help you in some way to actually travel safely and have an amazing time. So thank you so much for joining me this evening for tonight's travel topic. And so tonight I want to talk about preparing yourself to work remote internationally. So that is like a huge thing. I know that during the pandemic and everything that we've definitely had to adjust on how we work, and definitely working remotely is one of those things that has been heightened since the pandemic and has been proven that you can definitely be more effective working remotely. So that's something that I've been doing even before the pandemic. When I actually started my company, one of the biggest things for me was to be able to go 100% digital and to be able to work from anywhere that I was at. Because being a travel agent and everything, some of my clients they may either be about ready to travel or they may travel during simultaneously when I am traveling somewhere. So being accessible when things are happening, or just making sure that my business is running pretty smoothly, regardless of where I'm at in the world, is like a really important thing. So what not better to have somebody that actually works remotely internationally to help you and stuff, which can have its challenges definitely, especially when you are working internationally. So this is more talking about for people introduction, right? So this is not about talking about being an expat, um, or anything like that. And I'll give you a reference, especially for Black women and things, somebody that you can follow on YouTube at the end of this video, if that's something that you're looking into. And so this is more so about you learning how to run your business from anywhere, right? Especially if you're a solo entrepreneur and everything. So, and how to balance that, like with traveling internationally and and things like that. So I be taking it to the extreme because I might be in a whole nother continent, outside of reasonable hours and things like that. so uh it's even that can become a challenge and things because you're literally up in the middle of the night depending on what you have to do. But a lot of things, it can be timed out, right? So it's not really too much of a deal unless you're still holding meetings or whatever, at, you know, at some time in the evening or whatever else. So that's when it becomes a challenge for others and things. So I just want to talk to you about what I do in order to actually keep going and work remotely from anywhere. And so hopefully that will help you as well. So the first thing that you need to know is basically, what type of mobile device do you need in order to work remotely. So some people, they can run their business straight from their phone. So definitely at this day and age, everybody should have a smartphone, hopefully. Because I do a lot of my business on there. I always get like a plus size and stuff. I'm a Samsung girl and everything. Not just the Android, but I'm a Samsung girl and stuff. So so that's pretty important to me that I can run my business by my phone if I needed to, but also from a tablet or a laptop or whatever. So I have all of my devices, or I don't always carry all of my devices, depending on where I'm going and stuff and how long I'm going to be there. But I definitely typically do have my laptop with me and everything because I like to work from a laptop versus my phone unless I actually have to. If I'm out somewhere, then I can work from my phone, or just traveling. That's when I work from my phone the most. Um, so so the laptop is really the one, and that I work from the most. And then next my smart phone, but then I always have my tablet, but I use that more for entertainment purposes. The other thing option also is you can actually use a mini desktop computer. I just bought one this year. I love it. It's so small, probably the size. I'm trying to think of a size. It's definitely smaller than a ramen noodle packet. To give you some perspective, only because I see some ramen noodles on the counter over there. So it's smaller than a ramen noodle packet. And everything. And so it's very lightweight and stuff. So if you like to do that and using a portable monitor, then you can also do that as well. I really like double screens. And so it's not uncommon for me to actually travel with my portable monitor as well that I can hook up to my laptop. And you can usually hook it up to your phone or whatever. It's very lightweight, and so it works really really well when I'm traveling and stuff. It's probably like maybe a pound or so. So it's not anything heavy. It's very thin, and so I use that all the time. So if you're into like portable monitors, it's the same size as you can get it in different sizes, but mine is like a 15.6 inch. So keep that in mind that you can still be doing double screens and things like that, even when you're away. If you like to use double monitors and stuff, it's pretty easy to do that. Some of the accessories, other than the portable monitors that I like to use, is the if I need more outlets and things like that. So the docks. So I like to use those as well. You don't really necessarily need that for the portable monitor, but it also depends on what if your laptop has the USB-C, where you can put that type of cord into the portable monitor. So, but if you're limited on the USB ports and things like that, then you'll want to add a dock to that, a docking station, so you have more outlets. And then, of course, I always have like earbuds and things like that, just for, just so I can hear certain things or whatever, if I need to do a meeting, Zoom or whatever is out there. And then also, I use security screens on my devices. So it's on my tablet, it's on my laptops, it's on my portable, screen. And that way, if I have to work in the airports or just, in a lobby or whatever else, then any information that I have on my screen is being secured. So unless you're actually right over my shoulder, then you're not going to be able to see any of the information that I'm typing onto my computer. So definitely make an investment in stuff. They can get a little bit pricey, but you can go on Amazon or somewhere and find some really good deals here and there on the screen, the security screen covers and things for your laptop. And they just you just tape them in the corners of them and stuff, and so they work really, really well. So I would definitely encourage you to get the security screens on your laptops, your tablets. You can even get one for your phone and things like that. So that way, your any information that you need to have secured, that it's actually there. You're securing that information, so you never know who's looking over your shoulders. And I've definitely had really long layovers before where I need to pull out my laptop and work while I'm waiting to board my next plane. So that's just something that you can keep in mind for that as well. Um, it's really important, like any type of just speaking of apps and things like that, if you're using any systems that you can actually run off of an app on your phone, it and things like that, definitely download those onto your laptop, your phones, and all types of things. Just so that you have accessibility to whatever you're doing. With internet connection, I actually use a international hotspot. That's really important that you always have a backup to the backup to the backup of actually connecting to the internet. Not only my phone is a hotspot, and I actually have international phone plan and a data plan on my phone as a backup as well. Just make sure that you know what your phone plan, how much gigabytes that you have internationally and for how many days. So because that's definitely happened to me before. And so with T-Mobile, which to me is probably one of the best, phone plans that you can have internationally. Um, Basically, with the basic international plan is that you only get 5 gigabytes for 10 days internationally. And so definitely check with your phone company and increase your plans. You can do 15 gigabytes for 30 days with T-Mobile for, I think it's like $50 for a international pass. And so I definitely used that while I was out some, if I wasn't using my international hotspot as well. The international hotspot that I use is called Roam Wi-Fi. And so you can actually find that on Amazon. And it works really, really well. This last trip, when I was gone for 2 months, I used it all through Europe and then in Ghana. And the thing that I love about that is that if you buy several passes and you don't use it, you can actually get your money back for those passes that you didn't use. Having an international hotspot and being able to buy passes on the go, or the eSIM cards is what they're called, because you don't have to go to a place, buy the SIM card, take your SIM card out of your phone and things, and then have, making sure that your phone is unlocked. Some of them are not unlocked. and will not allow you to use other SIM cards in them. So you have to be really careful with that and follow the instructions on to unlock your phone if you're going to use a SIM card for data and things. I prefer not to do that and just to have a international hotspot and and everything, because I still need to take phone calls and things like that through my phone from clients and things like that. So I really don't like to mess with it in that way. So, having WhatsApp and things like that so people can contact me in that manner is like the thing that I prefer people to do instead of texting and call me as they normally would. And so, but that international hotspot is like the key to everything. And like I said, it works very, very well. And it's something that you definitely should invest with in if you're going to be working remotely internationally. You can also use the hotel Wi-Fi. Usually they throw that in for free. And then I'll talk about some internet security systems in just a minute and everything. But you do have to be careful because they're usually open. And even if they do have a password and things like that, you do need to be careful with how you're using even open Wi-Fi's like in the airports and things like that. Those are usually open so you can use them and everything, but you don't necessarily want to you want to watch what you're doing on them and secure the information. For me, I'm using a lot of I may be processing payments for my clients or things like that that I need to make sure that I have a secure link. And so in that manner, then I may use my hotspot instead of getting on like a public Wi-Fi and things like that. Um, Speaking of internet security, make sure that you have a really strong VPN system. So a VPN, if you're unfamiliar to what it is, it's a virtual private network. And so if you work for like a hospital or anything like that, you may be familiar with like VPN systems, especially with HIPAA laws and just HIPAA privacy and things like that. And so this is just a way for you to connect to your computer and then also to protect the network connection when using public networks. So if you're using the Wi-Fi like I said, in the airport or at a hotel and things like that, then you want to make sure that you are connecting protecting the connection that you have there. And then also, what helps too is to encrypt your internet traffic and disguise your online identity. So that's what it's made for as well. So even though I may be in a different country, I may look like I'm in Kansas City because I'm connecting to an IP, that's in Kansas City or wherever I choose to be in the United States. Although I am traveling internationally. One of the reasons why that's important as well is that some countries, like say Cash App, um, if that country doesn't have Cash App, which I don't think most of them do, then you're probably going to have a hard time connecting. And that has a lot to do with because your phone location is on. That's the first thing. And then on top of that, it's saying that you're out of the country. And so a lot of times, if you're trying to transfer money over, which sometimes I use Cash App to push money into another bank account or whatever, then it needs to see that I'm actually in the United States and not in a different country. And so that is one of the reasons too that I have like a VPN system that's set up. So that way I can actually get into that Cash App, move money around if I need to, and just go on about my business. So just know that Cash App typically will not work if your phone is showing that you're out in a different country and things like that. So if you have somebody sending you money through Cash App, then more than likely you're not going to be able to get that money as well. And a lot of Cash App cards, Venmos, PayPal, a lot of those debit cards that are associated with that, they may work if you're using them like a credit card, but if you're trying to use them as a debit card and like pull money from an ATM, they're probably not going to work. So just know that. Um, The other thing, like I said, with different apps that I use, so if it's more like a project management or anything that has to do with that, even my business phone is actually through T-Mobile, and so it's actually on the Digits app and things. So that way, if I'm running my phone by Wi-Fi and things like that, then it should connect without me using a data plan for that because I'm using Wi-Fi. So anything that's Wi-Fi based that you can actually use, then you're better off with doing that. Now, the other suggestion that I'm going to give you as far as working away, internationally, that I found very, very helpful is to actually associate yourself with a co-working spaces that are internationally. So recently, because I know that I'm going to be going back and forth to Ghana quite a few times in a year, I actually went ahead and secured a virtual address in Ghana. So if I needed to ship something to myself, then I can ship it to one of my virtual office address and things, and then it could be waiting for me, until I get to Ghana or something like that. And so I wanted to make sure that I had that in place, but also I wanted to make sure that I had a place in case everything else fails, the Wi-Fi is not working at the hotel or wherever I'm staying at. I'm having a hard time with my hotspot, just anything, my phone, anything that may come into play that could cause me not to be able to work. Then I needed to actually have a plan C, D, E, F, and G. And so one of those plans is for me to actually, because I paid maybe about $35 for my virtual address, but it also allows me, and this is with Regis and stuff, is one of the biggest co-working spaces that you can do, and they're all over the world. And so in Ghana and the Accra area, they actually have I want to say they have 3 or 4 different locations in the Accra area that I can go to. So it allows me to actually get a space in anywhere that they have available. So if I want a co-working space, or if I needed to meet with clients or anything like that, if I needed a meeting room, or if I wanted a private office for like the entire month, then I can do that and rent that space. Especially if you're going to be working US hours and you're quite a few time zones out, then one of the things that you can do is actually rent a space for a couple weeks, a month, or whatever you need to do, and then you would have access to that co-working space 24 hours and not just during the business hours. So they do have lounges that you can actually work out of, but I've typically just paid for the co-working spaces at least in order to do work if I needed to do that. But like I said, it also, like, if you're doing business internationally and things, having a professional place for you to actually meet clients or to work out of, then that would be your go-to. So, and I think in Ghana, like the cheapest, well, it was like $300 a month or whatever if I wanted it for like 30 days for a private office. Um, so it's not really that expensive. It just depends on what you need. You can definitely, you don't have to do it for 24 hours. You can actually just rent space for like a couple hours, 1 hour, or however long that you need it for. So just keep that in mind when you're working professionally, remotely, and internationally, is to have those things in place in order for you to actually be productive as much as possible and things like that. So, and that's basically what I do, is just to make sure, especially if I'm going to be in a place for quite some time, then I want to make sure that I have all these different ways of being able to work professionally without it actually interrupting my business and things. So, And sometimes just on purpose, I will go to a Regis Center anywhere. But that one seems to be the one that has it in just about every country you can possibly think of. And so I would definitely encourage you to actually sign up for a Regis account and and just kind of go from there. If you're into international travel and things like that, just to kind of keep something in place just in case you need it as a backup and things. So even me going on like excursions and things like that, if I want to duck into an office space, if I'm close by or close to a mall and things like that, then sometimes I'll just go and work from one of the Regis centers and things like that. And you just literally go on the app, you tell them the hours that you want and things, and then you secure it and you just let them know. You scan them, they scan you in, and that's it, and show you where you can work out of. So it's a pretty seamless, way to do business. So, and like I said, you don't have to do like a virtual office in some other country and things. That's just where I chose to do it. And things, but that is a part of your package, is to be able to work out of any Regis Center in the world. So for me, I really love working remotely. When Before I was working full time for my travel business and everything, I used to be in the medical field. So I was in a health professional. I was actually a respiratory therapist. And so the first cruise that I went on is what really inspired me to want to be able to do some type of work that I did not have to be confined by four walls. It wasn't definitely because I didn't like my job. I loved what I did. I went to school for what I did and got a degree in what I did for a living and everything. So it wasn't that I didn't feel fulfilled, but I just felt like this passion to travel. And I wanted to travel before I got old and, before I, you know, was too old to enjoy travel. I will say that. I didn't want to wait until retirement to be able to travel freely. And so that's kind of why I got into what I wanted to get into, because I really just wanted to be able to work remotely from wherever I wanted to be. A given day or a week or a month or whatever and stuff, and still be able to get paid. Nowadays, it's more easy for you to work remotely, especially with the pandemic happening. So there's all types of sorts of jobs out there. Some of them don't care about where you work and where you're located, and some of them do. So you just have to kind of go with the parameters of what that company is saying. Um, I'm not going to talk too much about being an expat and or a digital nomad and things like that, but just know that those options are out there. I'm talking basically about you doing a workation, and you don't have to go internationally to do this. Whenever I get tired of cold weather in Kansas City, I'm on a flight and everything. I'm looking for a place in the United States that have cheap round trip tickets. Typically, that place is actually Miami from Kansas City, because a lot of times you can get a round trip ticket to Miami for around $100. And so, depending on how flexible your schedule is. And so, even last year, I did it before I went to the Dominican Republic. I worked remotely from Miami before I went to the Dominican Republic and when I came back. And so it was really pretty awesome to be able to work, from my hotel and everything, and then step outside, see palm trees, be in a maxi dress and flip flops, and one block over from the beach. So you don't have to actually work internationally in order to work remotely. If you have the capability of working remotely, you can work pretty much from wherever. and that you want to, and things you just have to figure out a way in order to work remotely from wherever you want to. And so sometimes it for me is just a workation to work from a different location so I can experience different things. So definitely, just consider, if you're not wanting to go internationally, or go into a different continent, or go, several time zones ahead, then look domestically first. And then if you do want to go, outside of the country, then start looking at places that are in maybe the same time zone, or one time zone ahead or behind. So those places would be pretty much the Caribbean. Most of those places are either in the same time zone as Central or Eastern. And so that is a good place to start. Who would not want to work from like the beach, and or to rent a place that, is right on the beach, or, has an amazing pool, or you can walk to the beach, or, you can have see the beach from wherever you're at. So all of those things are like can be planned, and things like that, and where you can really, really enjoy doing what you love, travel, and but you're also making money while you're traveling because you're still working. And so sometimes it's just a change of scenery that can really help you to push you and keep you going. I think that one of the things for me as far as travel is concerned, and why I love it so much, is because I really need that reset. I need to remove myself from my everyday life and really give myself enough time to really think about what's happening in my life at this point in time, where I see my future going, and things like that. And a lot of that comes from when I disconnect from my everyday life, even outside of the United States, where I'm not as connected, and everything, unless I want to be connected. So those type of things are important to me, and why I choose to make sure that I can work remotely 100%, regardless of where I'm at, just to give myself a break and to really, give myself time to kind of reset myself. And so hopefully that is something that you all take into consideration if you decide to work remotely, especially internationally, is to just break up the monotony of working for others, or working for even yourself and things. Because my best ideas has always came when when I'm working internationally, or vacationing internationally, and things like that. And then on top of that, you're in a different place. So why not go out and play? Why not go to the beach? Why not take in some cultural, excursions, or, just experiences while you're actually out traveling? And you can do that domestically as well. I definitely have done a lot of different things in Miami, and gone on local excursions, or just figuring out the city in that way as well. So wherever you want to start at, that's where you should. And definitely looking domestically is one step to that, for sure. um, you'll see in Urban Chic Travelistas probably in the next year or so, where I will actually start to do remote work remotely trips for like a couple of weeks and stuff. So we're going to go to different countries, and so you can actually participate in that too. And so you'll have to definitely, sign up for the newsletter and follow me when I start to announce that, because I really want other entrepreneurs, or just people that can work fully remotely, to actually start to do the two, work in an international, like a different country and things like that. But also couple that up with entrepreneurs and stuff that have, marketing skills, or have, you don't have to be in the same field, and things like that, to be a benefit to others and things, and just as an entrepreneur to be able to help others, but also be able to work on your own, but also hang and go out to meals and different excursions and things like that as well. So that's what my big plans are in the future. And so you'll definitely want to follow me and actually get on that, especially if you're running your own business and can work remotely, or working for a company that you can work remotely from anywhere in the world. So that is it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining me for my little, TED talk, kind of everything. So you'll definitely want to follow me on Instagram, either on Travel Lista Tanisha, or Urban Chic Travelista on Instagram. You can follow me, and on YouTube, on that Travelista Tanisha YouTube page. And then you can also connect with me on Facebook, either my personal page, the Urban Chic Travelista business page, or my group, which is Passport Ready Travel Club. So you can get to that from my business page as well. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow with another travel topic. You guys have a great night.